Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, friends. It's time once again to dive into that tense, terrifying, yet always terrific world of Rod Serling's Twilight Zone. And this time we'll be watching Season 1, Episode 33, Mr. Beavis. Friends, I can't wait any longer, so wait no longer, we shall. If you could do me a quick favor though and hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel and allows me to alert you next time it's time to journey into the Twilight Zone. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, consider YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes at least a day early. But my dear, dear friends, all that is then, and this is now. And what is now? Now is the 33rd episode of the very first season of Rod Serling's Twilight Zone, entitled Mr. Beavis. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And away we go. Oh, weird. I see what we're doing.
Next stop, the Twilight Zone.
Oh, do we have a new opening? Interesting. It's weird at the very end of a season to bring in a new opening. I mean, not weird. I guess it's just different. Oh my gosh. There's Lou's stoop over there. Wouldn't that be cool, though, if this guy left his apartment and passed by Lou Bookman? Wouldn't that be just awesome? Be like, it's all the same world.
In the parlance of the 20th century, this is an oddball. Mr. Beavis is accident-prone, a little vague, a little discombobulated, with a life that possesses all the security of a floating crap game.
All the security of a floating crap game. We've come down these steps quite a bit. Big, tall wish.
Hi, Michelle.
Good morning, Mr. Beavis. Why not, Mr. Beavis?
Why not? Okay.
I was going to say, my man might have done that first stunt, but he didn't do that down the outside steps. It's a hell of a stunt, though. Uh-oh. Mrs. Curmudgeon.
Hey, Tony.
He's well liked.
Hey, Tony.
Except by Mrs. Curmudgeon.
Should it not be obvious by now, James B.W. Beavis is a fixture in his own private, optimistic, hopeful little world.
They're pushing him so he could pop the clutch.
James B.W. Beavis.
A couple of the little guys are right in the cloud.
Mr. James B.W. Beavis, just 1 block away from the Twilight Zone.
Oh my God, awesome. Is this where he works? This is like the least likely place for him to work. This is where Rod was from the outro last week, though. We've got another dreamer.
Please tell the gentleman who occupies this museum and livestock exhibit I should like to see him when he finally deigns to report for work.
Well, he needs to be there by 9. He's still got about 5 minutes. I mean, everybody else is there, but I mean, look, 5 to 9, right? Or 3 to 9.
Mr. Beavis, Mr. Peckinpah wants to see you.
Peckinpah? Oh, Jesus.
You're bringing phonograph records of zither music to play during the afternoon. You're hiring Christmas carolers to come in and serenade the office during our busiest hour.
He'll make it brief. 20 minutes later. Oh, guy got a box for him.
This is the 6th job I've lost this year, Margaret.
Wow.
I was building this for one of the kids. It's old Ironsides, the Constitution. The only job I've ever held for more than 6 months was during the Second World War when I was in the Navy.
I wonder if that guy could have parked a little closer. Oh, for God's sakes. Oh, dear God. What was 100% that other dude's fault? He parked like super close.
Yours?
I know the guy who's the cop.
Does it do this often?
No.
Well, it never has before. It's always been kind of like an old friend to me. Officer, you wouldn't be interested in purchasing a Rickenbacker, would you? It's a late 24.
No, thanks. I kind of got my eye on a 27 Maxwell, but I'm going to wait until the new models come out because that way I can get a better deal.
I guess that is definitely a sign of the times, because I don't know if that was an insult or not.
Hi, boy.
He keeps a good attitude. That's all of his stuff. Oh, she's kicking him out.
That's right, Beavis. You're being evicted. 6 weeks in arrears on your rent, and that's it, as far as I'm concerned.
Wow, really bad day, buddy. That makes sense.
You said you wanted something to fortify a man in the darkest hour of his life. Are them it?
Those are it. You can't use them in the nominative case.
Live and learn, huh?
Yep.
They always have great bar, with the exception of the bartender from those three guys that went into space.
Would you kindly tell me what are the ingredients of this drink?
Ingredients.
You said you wanted to get fortified, pal. I put everything in there but atomic energy.
Does that explain why I can see him in the mirror, but I can't see him in the booth?
See who?
Whom? Objective case.
Quite right, Mr. Beavis. Home. Objective case.
I can't see who that is.
Well, Mr. Beavis, we meet at last, eh?
Who are you? Please don't be the devil.
The name, for purposes of identification, is J. Hardy Hempstead. I'm your guardian angel.
Oh, thank goodness. I guess. J. Hardy Hempstead. All right, what do you got for us, J. Hardy Hempstead?
Well, cheers, Mr. Hempstead, and to better days. Oh, aren't you drinking?
Everything but atomic energy.
Now then, you were saying you were my... what was it?
Your guardian angel.
He could use that. Where were you? Where have you been?
Several hundred years ago, one of your ancestors performed an act of great courage. Now, part of his reward was to have a guardian angel assigned to one of his descendants in each generation.
Where were you earlier this morning?
Magellan Beavis, an intrepid explorer of the 16th century. Parnell Beavis, a member of the British Parliament.
I think it's all him.
I am not a figment of your imagination. As of now, you are being watched over by the same guardian angel.
Where have you been?
Assisted by minor miracles from time to time, given small heavenly aids when the situation calls for them.
Small heavenly aid, eh?
You were fired from what was your 11th job in 18 months.
Well, Mr. Peckinpah didn't like zither music.
Well, I can't say I blame him for that, but that's neither here nor there. So let's go back to this morning and start all over again.
You mean I can have the day to live over again and it won't be the way it was?
Definitely not. We change some aspects.
Some.
We naturally have to change certain characteristics of your own. Your clothes, for instance, Mr. Beavis.
So he can't be himself.
I look like an undertaker.
That may well be. But if you want the day to end differently, you're going to have to be a little bit different yourself.
Well, that's the thing. He doesn't want to be different. And I don't want him to be different. Some good screen work. Okay, so what's the... I wish I would have paid more attention.
Hi, Michelle.
Good morning.
Didn't say his name, though.
That nonsense is for the old Beavis. You are the new Beavis.
You mean the Beavis that he wanted to be? I don't like this. I don't think we're supposed to either.
Coming, Mr. Hempstead?
Oh, yes.
You can go ahead down it.
Coming, Mr. Beavis.
J. Hardy Hempstead. You can take a ride down the rail.
Mrs. Chatfield.
Good morning there, Mr. Beavis.
Look, about the rent.
Oh, I found it in the box 3 weeks in advance. You're a wonderful, wonderful roomer, Mr. Beavis.
Okay there, boys. Let's go. Nolan, baby. Pass it right over here. Yes, right there. Right in there. Right there.
They don't know you. He's going to have a real nice car, I bet, or an upgrade.
My car, my Rickenbacker.
Correction. You don't drive a Rickenbacker. That's your car.
That little thing?
Wow.
But have you ever driven a 1924 Rickenbacker?
He really likes that car.
I'm the guy responsible for Ben-Hur winning. You're a different person now.
Responsible for Ben-Hur. Is that Ben-Hur is a great descendant of or ancestor of Beavis? So you can have a great day, just can't be you.
Sorry, pal.
You'll get onto it.
Yeah, not used to not having to pop the clutch. Same time. See if somebody's in his desk. Watch him be the boss. He'll have Pack and Paw's job.
Morning. Morning.
No one's talking to him.
Hey, what happened to the clock I won at the carnival? Where's the ship I was building?
What ship? I don't know what you're talking about.
Ah!
Oh, I thought he'd have his job.
As of this moment, Mr. James B.W. Beavis has been given a raise in salary. $10 a week, starting from this very moment. And I might add that your work has been admirable. Since you've been here for 11 months.
Oh, boy.
What about the zither music? What about the Christmas carols?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mr. Beavis,
You don't do any of that
you
stuff,
no longer
bud.
have an interest in zither music or Christmas carolers or any of that nonsense.
You know all those things that made you you? Yeah, they're not around anymore.
I'm going to go out and get a little air.
So to achieve this slightly better life, you have to, no one likes you?
Or I may go over to my place and play a little football with the kids in the street.
Mr. Beavis,
Yeah?
they won't play with you.
Why? Because I'm an asshole now?
You're not the same Beavis.
I see.
To use the vernacular, Beavis, frankly, I don't dig you. I'm used to Beavises with big dreams, gigantic hopes, fantastic aspirations.
You adjust your attitude and settings, Mr. Hempstead.
The things I believe in, I know they're odd, but they are worth considerably more than $10 a week.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, you realize it's going to be exactly the way it was. No job, no car, no place to live at the moment.
Well, it's been that way before. It's complicated, is it?
Hardly.
We'll see you, bud. Thanks for nothing.
Take a good look. Won't be around very long. The cars will hook bumpers just as it was ordained they should hook bumpers.
He seems happy about it.
Better get it over with. Here comes Peckinpah. This time he won't be talking about a raise.
It doesn't make a bit of difference. Not a bit of difference.
Good for you.
That I should like to see him when he finally deigns to report for work.
I'm right here. It's before 9. Whatever. Same day, same result.
I love zither music and model shipbuilding, and if you can't bring kids into an office at Christmas time to sing carols, then what's the point of being alive?
Beats me.
Beats me.
Well, now I'm gonna go out and try and find myself another job. And I'm gonna find myself an apartment.
$5, pal.
Wow, $5 is pretty steep for a couple shots back in the day.
Still with me, Mr. Hempstead?
Nope.
Officer,
Your car, mister?
Different police officer, too.
In this
Interesting.
town, we take a dim view of parking in front of a hydrant.
You were saying you parked in front of it, bud. Look at you. To serve and protect my ass.
Still with me, Mr. Hempstead?
Still with you, Mr. Beavis. Still with you.
Well, that's good. All right, just started. No push required.
Mr. James B.W. Beavis, who believes in a magic all his
Ben-Hur.
own. The magic of a child's smile. The magic of liking and being liked. Mr. James B.W. Beavis, species of 20th century male, who has his own private and special Twilight Zone.
Fantastic, as always. All right, everybody, we just finished watching the 33rd episode of the very first season of The Twilight Zone, Mr. Beavis. And the only thing left to do is talk about it. All right, everybody, we just finished Mr. Beavis, the 33rd episode of the very first season of The Twilight Zone. This was probably, for The Twilight Zone, the most straightforward one that we've had. And by that, I mean obviously, we had the events of the day go the way that they went. We had the inclusion of Mr. Hempstead, and then we had the events of the day go, I guess, the way that Hempstead believed they should have gone. And then we had Mr. Beavis right, reverting everything back to the way that he wanted it to be. Only now it looks as if, with the inclusion of his car reappearing outside the bar, which he jumped right in after basically being on his ass, with everything but atomic energy coursing through his veins and liver. But again, it was a very, very simple premise, and to the point where this one was almost a little too simple. And I don't mean that to be derogatory or any type of insult, but it's almost as if this one, even for its fantastical elements of having a guardian angel in it, didn't necessarily have the same type of, for me, the same type of impact as the other Twilight Zones, because there wasn't really a twist. The twist was, I like my life. And it doesn't need to have, I don't need the extra $10 a week. I don't need the assistance in that respect. If the assistance lent means that I have to become a different person, I like me. And that's my favorite part about the episode, was that, Beavis was an eccentric for the time, but I don't think that he would have been necessarily an eccentric for, in a different setting, or even in the setting that he was in. Obviously he was a little bit to the max, he was on a 10 when it came to like taxidermy and stuff on his desk. But we've all, if you've worked in an office or a communal setting type of where there's a lot of people and a lot of personalities being represented, whether it's a locker in the back room or a desk in an office space, there's always somebody that makes it their own, way more than the majority of people. They might, their favorite sports team or something like that. And again, I think that type of thing, while obviously for the day it was not necessary, it was frowned upon, as we saw Mr. Peckinpah give his 2 cents on everything. It took 20 minutes after he said it would be brief. But I think that this one was a simple realization that a simple realization that I like who I am, the attempted subversion by Hempstead via the Twilight Zone, and the refusal of Mr. Beavis to accept that type of change for the rewards that it gleaned. That's about as straightforward as we've had for the Twilight Zone. There was no deviation. There was no major twist. There was no, now he's going to die, or now he picked the right way to go. Being himself rewarded him. We didn't see any of that. It just seems as if his life is going to continue with a couple little benefits there from Mr. Hempstead. But at the same time, no real effective material changes were brought into Beavis's life because he liked his life. And, for a story like this, it's interesting because this story, while, again, fantastical elements, the inclusion of a guardian angel, we had an entire day repeated. It wasn't necessarily that this type of story was not as exciting as the others, because I don't think that you necessarily have to have, an adrenaline rush when you're watching the Twilight Zone to enjoy it. Normally whenever you have the reveal or whatever the shocking moment or twist happens to be, that's usually, a little bit of a heart palpitation, a spike in the blood pressure and the pulse rate. But with this one, this was like a slice of life. It was almost like this is where the Twilight Zone didn't work. Does that make sense? Not the show, but like the entity known as the Twilight Zone. Normally when the Twilight Zone gets involved, when Rod tells us that somebody's about ready to enter the Twilight Zone, or this is their time to voyage into the Twilight Zone, we have some major material change made to our protagonist or the world, or something really major happens as far as the course of the story, the course of a life, the course of whatever it happens to be. But in this one, it was almost like the Twilight Zone tried to do that via Mr. Hempstead, but Mr. Beavis was having none of it and basically said, Twilight Zone, I appreciate you showing up, but thanks, but no thanks. And there's really not any more to say about it, because I think that in this particular instance, I sort of wish they would have played into that a little bit more. I think they did it perfectly enough, I'm saying, but I think that if they had played into it a little bit more, we might have had some interesting introspection into Mr. Beavis. He stated, I like who I am. I like giving, making ships for kids. I like driving around my 24. He stated all these reasons why he liked it. I wish he would have been able to state, maybe a little bit more in the affirmative of like, whatever this is, I don't need it. Mr. Hempstead, if there's somebody else you could help that might like your help a little bit more, That's good with me. A complete refusal of it. I think it was kind of a half measure that, he was aware that Hempstead was still there and still helping a little bit. But at the same time, in keeping with his own life, I think that, again, kind of mitigated the idea that he'd have a couple course corrections now and again. At least, I don't know. What do you all think? Do you think he should have completely refused any help from the Twilight Zone or from Mr. Hempstead and to retain what was his life in its entirety, 100% pure and uncut Mr. Beavis? Or should he have accepted that? Maybe he does need a little bit of help, just a push, just a correction, just a movement to get his life a little bit better, a little bit easier. That's what I'm thinking the point was. All right, friends, if you could do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel and allows me to alert you next time it's time to journey into the Twilight Zone or any of our sci-fi fare. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, consider YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes at least a day early. But all that was then and this is now, my friends. And now, unfortunately, it's time to say goodbye from the Twilight Zone. Now, normally with our other series, we like to jump back into the episode or the movie that we just watched and say goodbye from a favored scene. It's our reward for being the Greek chorus, where the audience that hears the story from the storytellers tell people that haven't seen it before, you got to check this out, it's really good. And hopefully we broaden and spread and grow the audience. That's our job, and that's our reward, to jump back into the episode and say goodbye as part of the tale. But in the Twilight Zone, friends, we do things a little bit differently. We say goodbye as a result of having watched this episode of the Twilight Zone. So, my friends, I've got some good news or potentially some bad news, because no matter how your day right now has gone, your guardian angel shows up, your Mr. Hempstead, and says, I can change it all. I can get you $10 more a week. I can course correct your life into something that I, or the universe, deems to be better. And the question I have for each of you, are you a Mr. Beavis or not? Friends, until such time as we can walk through the Twilight Zone with Rod again, Vulcan roll, and I'll see you.